we're going to be talking about why social media influencers are great for your e-commerce business, who is your customer, which is one of the biggest things I talk about all the time, so I'm going to go into that in a little bit, and why, what is the best way to work with influencers and how to choose the right ones and how to take action immediately. Is that sounding funny? It's okay? Yeah?
It's okay, it's okay.
Good. So my company's Just Ask Parker. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but we are a company that is a little bit like Fiverr.com, except we only work with Shopify stores and we help them only with their marketing. I have been working online, I think I say 12 years there, but I'm not telling everyone how old I am. So it's been longer than that, and I've been working with e-commerce for a very long time. Back in the day, it was WooCommerce, and since Shopify became fantastic, it's been with Shopify. I have also got a podcast, which I've had I've had Ruth on my podcast, and I talk to people who can give help to Shopify newbie stores. So that's really where I like to concentrate my time, is because I think that there's a lot of newbie stores out there who are needing help, that don't want to hear about all that bright shiny objects straight away, and they need help right from the beginning. So sorry, it looks a little bit funny here on this screen, so sorry about that. So my first question is, who in here has worked with influencers, social media influencers? A couple of people there? Fantastic. So there are a couple of people. How many people here have good success with influencers? Couple there, couple there, couple there. Who has not had any success at all? Yeah, so a couple of people. So this is actually pretty good. So when I do this presentation in London, I actually have usually got no one saying that they've had good success, and most people saying that they've had no success at all. So that's really good news. So congratulations to everyone who is having success. But you might learn some things here tonight as well. So I'll mention it later as well, but I actually came up with a summit 2 years ago just as a side project because I was bored, and I have gone for a second year now. And what this summit is, that I've interviewed now 35 different guests, and they're talking their merchants from Shopify. One of the guys sells over 1 million pairs of sunglasses a year, and he uses influencers. I also talk to app developers and other sort of tools that can help you with influencer marketing. So I'll mention it at the end as well, but that's where a lot of my information has come from the last 2 years, is getting a lot of great information from also influencers as well. So over the last 2 years, I've become really passionate about influencer marketing. And when I looked into the psychology of it, I found it very, very interesting, because a few things that you understand when it comes to how people buy. Everyone buys for only 2 reasons. They buy either to remove a pain or to gain a pleasure. That's the only 2 reasons we all do it. And that's what our customers are doing. So people buy because they want to look like someone. They want to feel good about products that are good value. They bought into a brand story is another big one. We've lost half the screen, so I'm not sure how.
I'll help you out.
Yeah? Just this one's the only screen that we need to worry about. Oh, that's better. They buy on emotional impulses. It's their ego. What's in it for me? A lot of people, as a merchant, we start to think about what we're doing as merchants, but really it's about what that person's thinking about. People buy to remove existing pains, like I just mentioned. They buy as they travel in packs. We know that, especially on Instagram, a lot of people are buying what their friends are buying. And then they also buy because of trust. People are naturally suspicious, probably more so than ever before. So it's very important that we understand all of these things, and that is why influencers are so fantastic. They can really help us with all of these areas when it comes to selling to people online. So I'm not sure, thank you. So I'm not sure if anyone's heard of Hi Smile. It's actually an Australian company that they've turned over a lot of money. This is quite old, these stats, but I thought that they were pretty fantastic. They actually started, they only had $20,000 to invest in their business. And when they started their business, they decided to put it all into influencer marketing from the very beginning. And they turned over $10 million in their first 18 months just from using influencers. I don't know if anyone here knows much about teeth whitening products. I used to work for a dentist, and I can tell you that a lot of these sort of products that are on the market are BS. They're not all that fantastic. So here's a brand that's selling a product that is pretty average compared to everything else. There's hundreds of these products on the market, but what they did was that they used influencers really, really well and made big things happen. Now, when they went out there about 4 years ago, they got hold of this one of the Kardashian girls, I think. I don't really follow all that. Who is it? Kylie. And they were lucky enough to get her at a really good price. And a lot of people think, well, I can't afford her now. And that's true. We probably can't afford that particular influencer. But there are a lot of other influencers out there that are coming up and becoming more popular. So we can all get this sort of influencer to work with us as long as we're actually doing the right research to begin with. So the first thing that you must do, you always have to think about who your customer is. If you don't know who your customer is, if you don't know who you're selling to, then you're never going to get anywhere. And this is probably, I say it's the number one thing. It's the one thing that I see with so many businesses, that they come to me and they say, I've tried influencer marketing and it didn't work for me. And I find out that they were just using the wrong influencers. So it's really important that you find the right influencers to help you. A good influencer actually knows who their audience is, and a good influencer will actually say yes or no to you. And that's the difference between working with an influencer who's starting out and doesn't care about your business and doesn't really understand what they're doing, and they're just going to say yes to you because they're trying to get a free product. I'm sure everyone's probably experienced some influencer reaching out and saying, hey, can you send me some products, and I promise I'm going to tell all my friends about it. And they don't actually know who their audience is. So it's very important that you understand who your customer is, so then when you reach out to the influencers, you know that they have got your audience. These influencers know the words to use, the images that they need to use. They know the sort of products that their actual followers want to know about. And this is why I'll just mention at this point, this is why people say to me, should I tell my influencer what to write on her post, or should she write her own thing? And I always say, let the influencer write their own post, because they know exactly those words. Two different influencers might be selling your same one product, but then the wording might be slightly different because they know that their audience wants to hear a certain aspect of that product. So when you're creating your customer avatar, you've got to come up with one person. That one person, the one actual identity. And a lot of people say to me, yeah, but I know I sell to, my favorite one is, I sell to everyone from 18 to 65, and I sell to all women. And I can tell you now you don't. I see some people laughing. I know that you don't. No one actually does. Coca-Cola is not selling to a 25-year-old girl that comes running down the beach here in Tel Aviv and only drinks fresh juices. Coca-Cola would love to sell to her, but they're not selling to her, and Coca-Cola knows their audience. They might use those people in their ads, but it doesn't mean they're selling to them. So you need to understand exactly who your person is that you are selling to. You can have separate personas. So you can have the girl who's 25, you can have the man who's 35, you can have the woman who's 65, but keep them all separate, because it's very important that when you're trying to target those people, that you understand that they are all different people. So I've got this on my website. If you go to justaskparker.com, and there's a free training section, and there's actually a link there that's about know your customer. And this is the stuff, and it's a 20-minute video. It's very in-depth. Everyone that does it, they say to me, I hate you because it's very, very hard to get into. But once you start doing it, it blows everyone's minds. I've had some amazing feedback from people saying, I never even thought that about my customer. And these are people who have been doing this for a long time. So I go into a lot of detail. You probably can't read it all that well there, but we talk about things like their family size. We talk about what industry they actually like to know more about. We want to know what their concerns are related to your product. but also what their concerns are in life as well. So I've got a really good training that takes you through all of that. It's completely free, so I welcome everyone to go and take a look at that. Okay, so the second thing you need to do, thank you, is you've got to understand where your actual customer is, because every single platform is actually there for a different reason. So this is actually really interesting for people to understand. Facebook is where people spend time to communicate with friends and family. So everyone thinks about running a Facebook ad or trying to find influencers on Facebook, but remember, the people that you're trying to communicate, while you might sell there and you might be able to make sales there, they're not there. Your customer is not there purely to buy from you. That wasn't their reason for going to Facebook. However, Pinterest is more of the place. So think about Pinterest as the place. People come here to look for things to buy. They're putting things into their boards because they want to at some stage either buy it or do something with that particular pin. Instagram, this is where people come to dream and things that they desire. They speak to their friends on there as well. So it's a little bit more of a social network. Whereas Pinterest is not a social network at all. It's actually a Google search. It's equivalent to a Google search. And then you've got Snapchat, you've got YouTube, and now we've got things like TikTok. Yes. YouTube is a really interesting one as well. So out of these list, YouTube and Pinterest are probably the two platforms when it comes to e-commerce that are most underutilized, and probably the two that I would think about the most. And the amount of people that don't think about YouTube influencers, it's unbelievable. There is so much potential there on YouTube. I've got one particular person who has been a guest on my summit, and he's just doing YouTube influencer marketing, and he's reaching out to people on YouTube and actually asking them to be his influencer, and he's doing it all for free, and he's getting amazing success from that. So here's some information about some stats. I've got this on my blog post. I won't leave that up there for too long. But I talk about, if you're now thinking, okay, is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it Pinterest? Yeah, take some photos. And if anyone wants to email me afterwards, I'm happy to send you this slide deck as well. And you can see the age of people. You can see the income of those people as well. So it's very important that you understand this when it comes to your influencer marketing. So Facebook is a... Facebook is the largest platform. However, Pinterest is great if your audience is women over 30. It's good for health, food, beauty, home and fashion. Instagram is great for interesting products. If you have something interesting, if you have a boring product or a product that doesn't have any real branding behind it, Instagram probably won't be very successful for you. YouTube is fantastic and it's underutilized, so I would really look at YouTube, especially if you want to explain products. If you've got anything that can be explained, YouTube's great for that as well. And then Snapchat is really for the kids. So if you're trying to sell something that's a high-end item, Snapchat's probably not a great platform for you. And it's only when you know these things that you can actually start to target them and go after them with the right influencers. So now that you actually know who your influencers are, two of the places that I recommend that you check out is, one of them is Brand Snob. I don't know if anyone knows this. It's only currently an iPhone app, and it's a fantastic app. It costs about $120 to set up an account, but it's a campaign platform. You set up a campaign and then influencers come to you and say, hey, I want to work with you. And then you go through the feed and you check them out. It's fantastic. You can check it out. They've got new options now. You can just do gifting, so you don't have to actually give anyone any money, but you set up a campaign through there. So I really love that platform. It's fantastic. So I always recommend using gifting campaigns. You've got to sell yourself as well. A lot of people set up these campaigns, whether it be to reach out to an influencer and ask them to work with you, or if you're going to use a platform like Brand Snob, people are just going, I sell a microphone and I want you to promote it. You've got to be really interesting and say, hey, you are the sort of person we want because you have this audience and we have the best product out there on the market. So make sure you sell your brand and let people know that they need to work with you. Offer commission on your sales. A lot of people are not doing this, so don't just reach out and say, here's a product for free. Offer to pay them money if they actually get sales as well. They're more likely to keep on promoting it past that 1 or 2 posts that they had told you they were going to do. Ask them beforehand where you want to use your images, where you want to use their images. And I recommend that you say that you want to use them in your email campaigns, you want to use them on your own social media, you want to use them on your website, because once you get those pictures and you can send them out to people and say, hey, here's a picture with this influencer, it's fantastic. And then make sure you always follow up with your influencers as well. So the other one I recommend is scrunch.com, and that's a place where you can just go and search for influencers completely free. It's a fantastic platform, and the great thing is why I love Scrunch so much, it's really good for location-based searches. So if you want to be looking just in Israel to start off with, you can do it through their platform for free. So I really like Scrunch. Think about your own connections. Who do you know that might be able to help you with some influencers? Ask your current customers who they're following, and maybe you can reach out to the people that they're already following. And that's my summit, winningwithshopify.com/summit, completely free to sign up. You can watch all the videos for free. You can get a VIP package if you want to, but it's completely free just to sign up and watch. There's 35 different interviews there with different people, and it even blew my mind that, the types of people that have come on and given so much great information. It's worth seeing. And you can use that code there if you want to sign up for the VIP package.